I prefer you read a book. The bodies were taken to a nearby woodland, searched, and burned. The remains were soaked in acid and finally thrown down an unused mine shaft. The Grand Duchess. The next day, the Grand Duchess Elizabeth Fordonia, the Emperor's sister, who had been held in a school in Alapaskix, were taken to another mine shaft and thrown in alive, except for Grand Duke Sergei Menovachkits, who was shot when he tried to resist.
Right.
In 1979, the bodies of the Tsar Nicholas II, the Tsarina Alexandria, and three of their daughters, and those of four non-family members killed with them, were discovered by amateur anthropologist Alexander Dovian.
Right.
In January 1988, the remains evacuated from the unearthed dirt road near Umuskenberg were officially identified those of Nicholas II and his family, excluding one daughter, either Maria Anastasia and Alexei. The identification included comparisons to a living relative performed by separate Russian, British, and American scientists using DNA.
Mm-hmm.
In 2007, an amateur historian discovered bones near Yabreskenberg belonging to a boy and a young woman. The prosecutors reopened investigation to the death of the imperial family, and in April 2008, DNA tests performed by the American laboratory proved that the bone fragments exhumed from the Urals mountains belonged to two children of Nicholas II, Alexei, and a daughter. It was Maria. They had already found Anastasia
Okay.
in the first set when it first discovered the bodies.
When I read, didn't
They,
know what it was. They were like, it was this one, but it could have been this one and this one.
yeah, it was. They through DNA testing, they found out that the first one of the first three sets of bones that they found were one of Anastasia, which is kind of goes into the side story that a lot of people were claiming to be either the
Right.
surviving child Alexei or Anastasia. The most famous one was a woman named Anna Anderson, who
Right.
claims that she was Anastasia. Come to find out that no, she was a Polish woman who had mental issues.
Oh, mental
But
illness.
she had mental illness and was escaping from being institutionalized.
Right.
So the family was given a state funeral and interred at Peter and Paul Cathedral in St. Petersburg on July 17th, 1998.
Right.
In 1981, Nicholas and his immediate family were recognized in martyr states by the Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia. So, yeah.
Indeed.
Yep. And the Bolsheviks won the Civil War, and they went on to do a few things before they collapsed in 1991. And
You know,
we never heard from Russia ever again.
until oh,
Like until recently, when they decided to pop their heads back up and go, "Yeah, you know it's still evil." Like, so we take your land. Okay. Oh man,
right.
yeah, that was long. Yeah. These,
It's as interesting time now as it was then. That's for sure.
yeah,
A lot of interesting.
yeah, and like it's reverberating even to today with the actions of this man and Rasputin and the rest of the boys and girls. We're still feeling that reverberation even today.
Right.
Um, Even with the other people, the Tsar, not the Tsar, Kaiser Wilhelm and King George and even Woodrow Wilson. Oh, good old Woodrow Wilson, one of the most racist presidents we ever fucking had. You're
Competition there, friend.
yeah, especially judging for what history shit. This is for the United States presidents, like shit. Like you known as one of the most racist presidents that ever fucking lived, and holy shit. But your get your final thoughts on this, or just
Well,
thoughts.
uh, it's amazing how much this royal family
Always be in power.
I mean, because their
Mhm.
family had always been in. I mean, they're in power for 400 years. That's damn near the entire time of American slavery. Holy crap!
300 years, but yeah, this is
But 300 plus, not even 300. 300 plus, almost 400.
yeah, true, yeah, 300 plus,
So it's a long time. No matter how many hundred plus, that's a long time.
yeah.
And you know the in family breeding thing, that's not good.
Hmm.
And they and what led to them losing power, what led to them losing their lives together, uh, was a continued ongoing faith in an individual who has quite a few stories about who he is, who he was, and why he deserved to have such a powerful position with this royal family.
Right.
It's so it's like that really happened, and yeah it did, and it just really gives a very clear look to me at what happens.
Right.
How long can you have power before people are like, why are we taking this?
Yeah.
Why in the
It-
world are we taking this?
yeah, and especially like with the because like historians will, especially Western historians, will try to rehab this family and try to say like, oh, Nicholas was just in over his head, he was a little incompetent. It was like, no, he knew what was going on, and he didn't care because he thought that he was appointed by God to
And
be able to.
that's my biggest question. Do they really think that? And if that's their religion, then yeah,
Yes, this
yeah.
family, this man and his father, like a whole damn Romanovs, said yes, they believe that they were appointed by God to be able to rule this land. I mean, that used to be the feature of all kings and queens of Europe and shit.
300 plus.
And yeah, 300 plus years. But you see the savvy, like compare like the royal family of England and like the Tsar, the Tsar Nicholas II and
Mhm.
the Romanovs. The English family, the British family was savvy to know that the winds of change are coming and they will sweep us up if we do not make some sort of change. If we not succeed our power. Like you got money. We keep our money, we still have some sort of power.
Mhm.
That's why they're able to stay as long as they have, even though they've literally been called to be like get rid of the monarchy. Like shit, how many damn insurrections and wars that Ireland go through to get out of under British rule and
Right.
shit. This is how like here United States it's just like a fucking
Yeah.
revolution, a bourgeois revolution. They're gonna throw off the chains of the English monarchy.
Right.
But they saw those lessons. They were able to adapt and like, look, like we might not have political power, but we still got a lot of money and people rally to us, especially during the World Cup. So
Right.
let's just keep that going.
Right.
Czar didn't see it because if you had made concessions and uh did things that you didn't want to do but you had to do.
Right.
I'm gonna be
Right.
honest, that family still would have been around today, still would have been in charge of Russia. I don't think the Bolsheviks would be able to get
I don't think they would have been in charge of
if
Russia. I don't think they would have been in charge of Russia. I do think they would have still
I
been
don't think
around.
they would have. They would no. They would be like the British royal family.
Exactly.
They would be like the
Exactly.
British royal family,
As
figureheads in name only.
hell, and having to do
Yeah,
to keep it
yeah.
because
They would be. Sorry, go ahead.
because that
Would have been something positive about
the
broke ass, poor ass
people.
people.
We ain't got no food, but hey, at least we have the Soviet royalty, just which is what the English says saying to me, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and the world would have been very radically different than what we have right now. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I don't think that would be a good thing at all.
I see. I mean,
But
yeah, yeah,
but they would have still been alive. And yeah, like especially this rehab they've gotten since the 1970s, which a lot of it is based in anti-communism, anti-USSR. You know, people say what they want. They've done the USSR, and the people in charge of it have done their crimes and made their mistakes. And some things they've done was a good thing. To say that all they did was bad, it was no. It's like, shoot, you could point here how many bad things the United States government has done.
a lot.
Like no one is perfect, but you know the world would be very different
Right.
if Tsar Nicholas hadn't made those changes. And even this rehab, this anti-communism, this rehab of this family is like, and you're reading up on the history of what they did. It's like there's no rehabbing that. These were horrible people who did horrible things at a horrible time.
Right. For sure.
And you cannot rehab that. Even with like, even though like the main point of doing this episode was Rasputin and dispelling some of the mystic and the rumors around Rasputin. Like Rasputin saw an opportunity for himself to advance his livelihood.
Yeah.
And also made him think like maybe I am helping these people. And even though he was a horrible person himself, but a lot of these things that was going up that people had said about Rasputin, some of these things were not true. Like some of these things that people put out, like I'm not saying about the rape. He totally raped those women.
Oh gosh.
He totally fucking raped those women. And he's a horrible person as well. And not only that, he's over here cheating on his wife, fucking every guy, and also fucking everybody. His goddamn other wife. Yeah, somebody's gonna be pissed off and want to blow your head off. So that's a lesson to you, gentlemen and women.
It's a lot.
Do not go around sleeping with other people's wives and husbands.
It's a lot happening.
Unless you're Jerry Falwell Jr. and you're in the room watching.
Right.
But yeah, like this trying to rehab this family. It's like no, there's no rehabbing this family at all.
Exactly.
Stop this shit. They were not these saints. They were just like just in over their head. They were complacent in a lot of this shit. Yeah, it's horrible shooting those kids. I'm not gonna lie about it. Even though Alexei, that kid was dead man walking. He was not gonna live to 25. Just stealing at the time. He was not.
Wasn't going to be here much longer.
But
it's a lot. It's a lot going on.
Yeah, and it's a lot. And again, it reverberates today. We're still dealing with this shit. So, all right. Well, that's that long ass episode. If you stay with us to the.
If you ever have to answer a question about the Romanovs for like a $50,000 prize, I want 40% of it.
I'll give you 45.
I deserve some of that money.
Yep. That's
really, it's interesting though. It's
it has.
The people that we view as being deserving of attention, deserving affection, deserving of being looked upon as who you want to be. What did they do for that? Did they do anything?
Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know. I know this. Tsar Nicholas II, even though we share the same name, deserved that bullet in his head.
Well, you know.
Yeah. So, but Laurel, thank you again for joining me. I do appreciate it.
As always, the weekend is going to be far more weird.
Yes. Yeah, yes, it will be. Where can people find you on social media if they're looking for you?
Yeah, if you're looking for me, if you're not scared yet, people can find me on the Twitter sphere at Kilpatrick LD. That's where you can find me at my most behaved. So
yes, all right. And you can find us on Twitter as well as at Weekend Weird Podcast, or Facebook at Weekend Weird.